What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the 6 days out physique update of Shaun. So I have to say, sitting at 5'2", there is nothing that gets more freaky than this guy. But I'm sure some of you guys must have also noticed the difference in the size of his quads from the front, where his left leg, that looks bigger than the other one. But that being said, I have to say Shaun is looking big and full as a house. Now, as great as Shaun's side leg is looking here in the side chest shot, I have absolutely no idea how a veteran like him cannot hold his stomach in during this pose. And why isn't anyone in his circle telling him that? Because I have got to say that is a great pose for Shaun, along with the side tricep, if he keeps his stomach sucked in. Now that mini Ronnie Coleman comment, that really comes into play. When you look at Shaun's back, the sheer density and the muscle maturity on the back, especially the back double biceps, that is just so unbelievable. And that is most probably gonna be significantly improved compared to this past Miss Olympia, where Shaun just lost a lot of size to come in as detailed and as shredded as he possibly can. So in chase of that conditioning, they lost just too much size. So this, I think, is gonna be a lot more improved version of Shaun compared to the Olympia. Because Shaun just has got nothing to lose here. He knows the chances of him beating a guy like Martin Fitzwater, they are none at this point. So he might as well come in full blown and big as a house, just like he did back in 2023. Because that was probably the biggest version of Shaun to ever step on stage, along with the Arnold last year. Now, as far as his future in the 212 is concerned, I have to say, as long as Keon Pearson is there, as long as he's the champion, Shaun isn't winning again. In fact, any one of these other guys, they have very slim chances of dethroning Keon Pearson. So talking about Keon Pearson, next up we have the first post-Olympia physique update from the reigning 212 champion. So looking at this update, where he is about 18 pounds heavier than what he weighed at the Olympia stage, I have to say the man is just so far ahead of everyone else in the game. And he has changed so much after becoming the champion. He stays pretty regimented all year round, whether it's the health phase or the push phase or the prep phase. So this is him at 219 pounds, and he was around 201 pounds on the stage at the Olympia this year. So more than 15 pounds in exactly 1 month time. But still, his conditioning, I have to say, looks pretty damn awesome. So the finals look that Keon Pearson brought to this year's Olympia stage, even he himself could not believe how great he looked. That was pure domination on his part. And to think that Keon Pearson can put on another 10 pounds on his frame in the upcoming years while staying in the 212, that is just insanity. So Keon is already being discussed as the greatest 212 champion ever in terms of the physique that he brought to this year's Olympia stage. Now, I personally think he could have beaten any version of Flex Lewis with that physique that he brought, because when Keon starts hitting those poses, there is just so much going on, and the eyes will always be drawn towards him. So with Keon, as the 2 times 212 Olympia champion, who plans to win for as many times as he can, you really have to feel bad for the competition, because again, I'm gonna say, no one is touching him. Next up, we have a 6 days out physique update from Martin Fitzwater. Now, I have to ask, what it is with Martin Fitzwater and his ability to improve from one show to the next one, and the whole myth of body getting burnt out and tired for some of these other bodybuilders who died for longer periods. That simply just doesn't apply to Martin. So Martin, along with everyone else, thinks that this upcoming prog version, that is gonna be his all-time best, which doesn't seem believable, because he was probably the best peak guy at this year's Olympia stage just 4 weeks ago. Samson Dauda brought his best, but Martin's conditioning, that was just so impeccable. But we also thought that he cannot get any better from the look that he brought to this year's New York Pro. But he did beat that look, and that too by quite some margin. So the fans think that this is gonna be a really close battle between him and Chris Bumstead. Now Martin, on the other hand, it doesn't even feel like it is gonna be a 2-man show. And he is dominating the show, no matter how cbum shows up or anyone else shows up here. So the idea of Martin not getting tired, that might have something to do with the fact that he is relatively young and his body is primed to do several shows every year. So this was posted on Rubiel Mosquera's story about 24 hours ago, where he once again talked about starting the offseason with his current coach, Francisco Aspen. So Rubiel is 299 pounds in this physique update. But none of that really matters if he just keeps on pulling out of these shoes, one after another. So his former coach and his trainer, Chris Cormier, he just overhyped him way too much leading into this year's Dubai Pro, claiming that he's gonna beat Behrouz Tabani. And the difference in the quality of both those physiques, the kind of muscle quality that Behrouz Tabani has, that was just way too much. There was a difference of night and day when both these guys stepped on the same stage. So my question is that, does Rubiel really needs those off seasons? Or does he need to compete more often and diet down again and again to season all that muscle? Because that is how some of the greats of the game, like Jake Hadler did back in their prime, back in their days. That is how they acquired so much detail in their physiques, by competing over and over again. But Rubiel needs to make this decision, whether he wants to be a freak with the biggest neck in the world, or does he want to be one of the best men's open bodybuilder in the world. Imagine if Rubiel was competing in this upcoming Prague, this show which is already turning out to be one of the biggest and one of the most talked about show of the year. That could have gotten so much better with him and his comparison with Chris Bumstead, and that could have been a treat to watch for all of us bodybuilding fans. So Ramon Dino was seen guest posing yesterday at Fitzwater, Brazil, just a few weeks after earning his Olympia spot for next year. And this is more or less the way Ramon is gonna look if he switches over to the men's open bodybuilding division. So his conditioning looks very decent here, especially for guest posing. And Ramon, we also got a lot of pushback from his fans, not only just to get a new coach, but some of the Brazilian fans who also believe that he should switch over to the men's open bodybuilding. Now if anyone thinks that Ramon is gonna do extremely well just after 1 year, or going into the men's open division is that easy, then I'm afraid to break it to you guys, that isn't gonna happen. He is gonna get smoked by all of those big guys. The roundness and the density of most of those men's open guys, that is just absolutely insane. And Ramon Dino, we have to agree, isn't a guy like Chris Bumstead, who is just flawless when it comes to his posing on the stage, or the kind of great V-taper that he has, which is what allows Chris Bumstead to create that great illusion on the stage. So none of the looks that Ramon brought to the stage in 2024 were his best. So let him stay in Classic for at least 1 more year, and he should just skip this year's Arnold and solely focus on the Olympia. I am sure some of you guys were too busy watching Romania Pro and did not see this post made by William Bonak, directing towards some of Iranian fans, or should I call them Hadi Chupan fans. So you guys all remember the reaction of William Bonak when Samson Dauda was announced the new Miss Olympia. So was that unprofessional? Well, a lot of Hadi Chupan fans, they were extremely angry at William Bonak for expressing himself in that way on the stage, and found that unprofessional. So a similar incident that I can recall, that is from 2002, when Gunther beat Ronnie Coleman at the GNC Show of Strength, and Kevin Lavroni, he jumped from the crowd on the stage to congratulate Gunther. Ronnie Coleman expressed his dislike towards Kevin's reaction, and he called it unprofessional. So we have no idea what kind of comments or DMs William Bonak is still receiving from all these Iranian fans that he had to repost that picture and put out such a harsh caption. So this might also come as a surprise to some of you guys, but Hadi Chupan unfollowed William Bonak after that incident, and that indirectly shows that Hadi obviously did not like that reaction from William Bonak. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.